Shoot! Well, shoot, shoot! Well, you shoot! And here.
No. Hi, Making Bone Gang, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to hang out with my buddy Theophile. This is the first time it seems like our schedules aligned to finally hang out. He told me to bring a pair of hip boots and a machete. Now out here on the bayou, that can mean anything from we're going to wrestle alligators to we just need to go take a walk and see what's in the shed. But he didn't tell me to bring a gun, so I figure there's at least a 50% chance that whatever we're going to do won't kill us. The wind is 20 to 30 miles an hour, 40 mile an hour gusts. At least that's what the Weather Channel said. So I will try to keep this microphone out the wind. So sorry about the wind noise if that ends up being an issue. Let's go see what we're about to get into. Uh-oh, there he is. The Sultan of Sweet Serenade. The Cajun King of Couillon, the Tyrant of Tattoos, Theophile Bourgeois. All right, Bob, what we getting into today?
All right, so I got my hip boots. It's pretty sloppy back here. We were gonna walk back here, but in normal times, it's not really navigable. So plan B is take the side by side, we're gonna run the levee. And now we can cover more ground and we can kind of just chill, man, listen to music and just, we're gonna scope, basically just look for the little white. You're gonna just, that way we ain't like falling all over the place. Cause I think it's gonna be pretty sloppy back here.
So we're going hunting mushrooms?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're gonna look for some oyster mushrooms. So the way this weather's been, it's been nasty and wet. And now we got this like really harsh, dramatic weather change, and that should pop them up. That's everything I've been told and seen, but like, you know, that's what you look for. Is like the moisture in the air, but the shifts in the weather patterns, that's gonna kind of pop them up. Right. Hopefully, we're gonna see.
I've been able to find them wood ears, but I ain't never found no oyster mushrooms. Of course, I don't know what I'm looking for neither. So.
You know, I didn't even know wood ears were a thing until I popped on. I kept seeing them, and I did like the little Bing image search because I was like, man, I wonder if these are edible. Because I've always just been into oyster mushrooms, and I know enough about oyster mushrooms where I'm like, okay, I know I can find these, and I know what I'm looking for. But I'm like, I ain't venturing out because they're all, like, you'll die. Yeah, right. Like, well, I was like, holy, like, no, these are actually edible too. So the wood ear, and then it's like, you eat them a lot. I didn't realize, like, in a lot of Chinese or just Asian cuisine,
right?
So now those will start popping up when it warms up a bit.
Those are easier to identify because there's not really anything that you can mistake them as. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, real like little jelly looking, and literally looks like brown ears.
Yeah.
And when they're fresh, but yeah, those pop up a lot back here on the tallow trees, with like the trash trees, all over invasive trees. So it's nice because we have an abundance of those. But what we're looking for today is all willow trees. Generally down here, what we see the oyster mushrooms on is going to be willow trees. Right. So we got a bunch of those all around, but I figure we'll hop in here and just go ride the levee, and that way we can cover more ground. And they're easy to spot, you know. It's a white thing sticking out, like it's you can't miss them. I got my pool pole. With my electric fillet knife blade, in case I got to reach something tall. I even got the chainsaw in case I don't feel like fighting it.
Them coon ass tools of the trade right there, boy.
I'll take a tree down.
To get them mushrooms.
For the mushrooms.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Well, they growing on a dying tree anyway, so I'm just hoping.
Let's go get into some trout.
You know, before we start on this journey, I like to hydrate out of my Bubba flask. Get them while supplies last. It is sloppy. Sloppy, sloppy.
Yeah,
all right, so we got mushrooms we could point out.
Yep.
And this is a good opportunity for me to show you what we're not looking for. But you see, like, first glance, you see this, like, oh, cool, man, that's some oysters. But this is just this dying piece of willow. That's why I came check it, because you're always going to find what we're looking for on there, but you're going to find what we're not looking for too. So to kind of give you an idea, I'm not really sure basically I know a good bit about what I know about and not much about what I don't, right? That don't sound like it makes any sense, but what I'm getting at is these, I just call them, I'm not sure what they're called, but I can just call them shelf mushrooms. But they grow similarly to your oysters, where they're gonna grow in this cluster, like this shelf-like cluster, but if you come in close on them, if we find some oysters, these will be vastly different. So these have those spores. Can you get in tight on? You see that? Wow. See, like right here, you got like spores, like big spores coming up. But so the bottom of the oyster, has gills, and they kind of have this nice curvature to them. So this ain't what we're looking for, and they got them on there as well. But if you see this type of stuff, this down log here, on the underside of that, we're gonna check it out. On a day like today, it's good, because the snakes are gonna be pretty idle.
That's good.
But like last week, the snakes been all out in my backyard.
Oh yeah, they've been everywhere in my yard.
I wouldn't be as carelessly checking all these spots, because the spots we're checking for mushrooms are also the spots snakes like to play, you know? So, but yeah, so that's a good example. I don't know much about these. Like I said, I call them shelf mushrooms. If y'all know what they called, drop it in the comment section.
Yeah,
this guy's an idiot. This guy's wrong. They're not shelf mushrooms.
The more you know.
A lot of people don't know. That's like, everybody thinks you just look for mushrooms with your eyes. You gotta listen too. Let me show you my mushroom call. Mushroom! 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 What is true? And here.
No, not right here. Ooh. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, you find your can?
What kind of mushroom is this?
Yeah! Bud Light.
Huh. So, I guess we need to start from the beginning. How do you identify a willow tree?
Willow tree. All right, first, the leaves are like a dead giveaway. It's got those little thin leaves, kind of very distinct, kind of diamond, like pointy, slender leaves, you know? And you see the bark pattern. It's kind of a very thick, layered, you know, like these long lines that run along it. So that's what we're looking for. But this big cluster of all these down trees, this dying tree. So mycelium, which is the mushroom is like the fruit of the mycelium. So the mycelium's job is to actually, consume organic matter, and it's like circle of life, man. So we're looking for dead trees, because that's where you're gonna find them. They're doing their thing, decomposing that, and returning it back to earth, baby.
Oh, look at that. I didn't know we were coming out here for a science class.
These here are not what we're looking for. You see how easy it is to see them when they're there. I mean, it's gonna be the same look. Oysters, come out and play.
It's time for another good idea, bad idea.
Mr. Allen, Mr. Turtle.
Might need chest waders.
I'm walking through this shit, I don't even see nothing. Like if I to get to the other side, I'm just like perusing. I'm looking to see if there's anything.
Ain't even nothing to look at.
Man, but this is just, something about this just feels right.
Yeah, it do. Yeah, it do.
Where's the mushrooms though? Funky butts, you call that. I don't know what you call it. But they furry, and they ain't oysters.
That's another no-no mushroom.
This is totally, like, I mean, so this has the gills, but it's like not even close. When you see the oyster, which hopefully we do.
Seen everything but.
You will definitely know. Like this almost feels like fabric, man. Feel that? It feels like your t-shirt. You don't want that.
Now, if I pick my nose, will I die?
No. Good question, actually. So I had the similar concerns as far as, if I handled a poisonous mushroom, you actually have to ingest it. Like a lot, So
if I lick my finger, I'm still good?
Yeah.
Still wouldn't recommend it, but.
Yeah, no. And another little bit, and this will come out in the comment section, but a lot of what I had read was that so basically all your most dangerous mushrooms, like the bad boys that will really hurt you and possibly kill you, can potentially kill you, are gonna be things that grow out of the ground and they're a cap and a stem. So not all cap and stem mushrooms obviously are poisonous, because like your common store-bought mushrooms are cap and stem, but all the poisonous ones, like the bad boys, are in the ground, cap and stem. So not like this type of cluster. Like this could very well be, like, I don't think that this is really an edible mushroom. I think it's a dry, weird, there's a whole lot of mushrooms that, I've got this book on them, and it's like edible but not good, basically, right. They say, you know, so it's harmless, but this ain't what we're looking for. But this tree, a lot of times I'll come check the underside of a down tree, because that'll be prime spot. So, you know, they need a lot of moisture, and this weather change, Bob Breck said the weather change got the mushrooms out, but I ain't seeing nothing. Okay, so we got, oh nice, these are actually good. I thought they were old ones, but you just see,
well, it looks still juicy.
This is a fresh wood ear. That's like exactly what you want there.
Looks on just the wood like ear.
So now the video can change. You can say, going look for varieties of mushrooms with Theophile Bourgeois. Right. Not specifically targeting the one we did not find. Big thing with cutting mushrooms, you do want to cut them. Like I've seen a lot of people, and it's cringy, man. Like you don't know any better, and you just pull them off. You always want to just get your knife on there if you want to get a little shot of this. They got some more on this other side. So you don't want to disturb, like I said, so the mycelium's in there. We're just seeing the fruit. We're seeing what's on the surface. So this little guy here, just run the knife, and now it'll keep popping up. And you see this one breaking out. A couple days, these will be nice. Usually, you find one, you're gonna find a good bit more. So you see here, try not to disturb too much of what we got going there. But we got coming from underneath. That way, see now we got a nice clean cut, and that's fresh. So you see how it's got that little white, and where my fingers touch it is kind of wiping off. Like this is a really prime. We found these just right, and they got like a little hairy texture on the top, and that's okay. Like I'll slice them in thin little strips, and see this one's kind of bad though. It's a little more dried out, but I'll slice it in little strips, man. Do like a fried rice, a little stir fry, or I'll do like camp ramen. I always keep ramen at the camp, because I get a lot of mushrooms out there, a lot of wood ears, a lot of oysters. So I'll just like keep a bag of broccoli, and I'll have some deer meat, like a deer heart. That's it. Camp ramen with some wood ears, oysters, deer heart. That's good eating, boy.
Well, Theophile got that lock on finding the mushrooms, but I can find poo-poo anyway.
Go ahead, eat it.
Just a little raisinette.
More dry, inedible caca. That's another random. Man, there's so many mushrooms. I can name like 4. I'm not sure if these are actual turkey tails. There's a way to tell. There's a ton of these turkey tail style mushrooms, you know, but they have, all right, there you go. So this, I believe, there's a ton of different, like I said, there's a variety of turkey tail style mushrooms, but this actually is a really, really good and edible. A lot of people make teas. There's a lot of I believe like antioxidant properties. My dad used to make a tea with these, but don't quote me on this. I don't know if this is like the true turkey tail or one of the, there's a lot of lookalikes, but not a poisonous lookalike. So same thing with these, with the true turkey tail. You zoom in on there, you see it doesn't have gills, it's got spores. So that there, we'll kind of keep that, but obviously you see why they call it a turkey tail. Yeah, take that and do a little ID when we get home. If it is in fact turkey tails, whip me up a little mushroom tea. Might feel seeing double. It's the wrong tea, baby. all over, and then there's like a nice cluster.
Oh yeah.
But like this, so this is to show you
what once was.
Yep. But that, I mean, these are pretty old, but they popped up all over this. When you get on the underside here, you can see there's actually a really pretty cluster on the other side here.
Look at that cluster.
This right here is what we're looking for, folks, but we missed it. This is heartbreaking, it's tragic. This is like, oh, it's still, I mean, still edible. But we get some good, you can kind of identify what it is that these look like. It's still got a cool texture to it, you know, even dirty and nasty, but these are oyster mushrooms. These are old. They still have moisture, not all dried up yet, but this is what you're looking for. So you got these little clusters. They're very normally, like, these are horrible shape, but when they're fresh, like this top is really smooth. It's kind of you can still smell it. It's got like an anise or licorice scent to it. It's barely there now, but when they're fresh, you can smell it. It's real distinct scent they have. But one thing that is a dead giveaway is what we call a decurrent gill. The gill runs, it doesn't have a separate stem. So the gill runs from the tip of the cap all the way down. It's got like kind of it narrows out at the bottom, but it's not there's a similar looking mushroom that kind of buttons out and has a separate stem. That's not what we're looking for. But this right here, that is the oyster mushroom. Now we gotta see if we can find some a little fresher than that. But for ID purposes, you see the difference, you know? This is what we want. Sorry. Actually, on the other side of this log, my cousin Vinny just pointed out what I was just telling y'all about. This here is that kind of similar look-alike. Once you start to identify these, once you start to, you know, you handle them a little bit, you'll know instantly, but this is what I was talking about. This has that separate stem. It ends and then the gill patterns start. On these, you see very different, right? So it's really easy. If you know what you're looking for, it's easy to find and identify these. And there ain't nothing in the bayou that looks like this and is harmful. You know, a lot of people, rightfully so, are pretty apprehensive about just picking a mushroom off a tree and eating it. And I advise people to don't just listen to goofballs like us, you know, because like, I do a lot of research. I've been looking at these mushrooms my whole life and eating them my whole life. But if it makes you feel better, do your research, identify them for yourself. We're just here to kind of get you started on that, you know? So that's what you got. Oyster, some other thing.
All right, guys, when we made it back to the house, we finished doing the whole mushroom hunt. Didn't exactly find what we were looking for. But let me know in the comments below if anything we said was completely incorrect, or let me know if you got. Yeah, I'm certain we messed up something somewhere along the way. But make sure you put in the comments, I don't know, if you enjoy hunting mushrooms. But I'm gonna put his information down in the comments. Well, in the description, excuse me. I'm gonna put his information down in the description. He tattoos. He runs a charter company. He has a band.
Come on, goes.
He hunts mushrooms.
Who's on fishing charters? Mushrooms.
We're gonna put all of that in the description because the man does it all, which is why he can never has time to hang out with.
We hanging out right.
We've been trying to get this done for months now. Finally got it taken care of, but that's pretty much gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't. Ring the notification bell so you don't miss another video.